Hey guys, I just wanted to let you all know that my Discord server for Laughingstock Media is now open to everyone. So if you want to join the conversation, you can go to the link down below in the description, the pinned comment, and on the community tab. I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, so in this video, I've wanted to discuss this topic for a very long time now, and it's something that, well, a lot of fans, I think, tend to be interested in when it comes to the relationships between characters in Dragon Ball as a franchise, with that being one that has been heavily talked about and made fan art about over the years. And on this Valentine's Day when I'm posting this, which automatically dates the video, but I don't care, I'm going to be discussing one of the most popular relationships, which is Krillin and Android 18, Lazuli herself, and the question of why did Android 18 fall in love with Krillin? How did the two of them get together? And what is it that made him stand apart in terms of, well, a romantic partner? Because it does seem like a lot of people don't necessarily know or understand the dynamic and the relationship between the two of them and what really led to that. So I'm going to be using the manga, the original story that Toriyama created for us, to give us the evidence and the information why I believe that she ended up with Krillin over someone else like, I don't know, Yamcha or Tien or many of the other characters that people have tried to ship her with over the years, and discuss the real reason behind all of that. So let's get into that right now. All right, so in terms of Android 18, she was originally a normal human who was experimented on by Dr. Gero, or Jero on this channel, bringing that back, right? And that led from her turning into one of the most powerful beings in the universe, really. Stronger than Frieza, stronger than Super Saiyans, and someone who was able to defeat just about anyone. It made her also very fierce, very defensive in terms of her personality, and not really the most warm of people when it came to, well, warming up to others. However, what we see later on is that this leads to a head in which the characters battle against them, including her in the process. We see that, for instance, she is treated by Vegeta and the others automatically just by her very nature as being evil, by being a villain, by being somebody who was, well, just a killing machine. Look at what Vegeta says to her when he goes to battle against her. I warn you, I won't go easy on you just because you're a woman. But you're not a woman, are you? No, you're merely a thing. And I think that this leads to many ways the crux by which we see that Krillin and Android 18 really hit it off. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, let's cut ahead to the actual battle. You see, from the very start, all the Z fighters are trying to murder the androids, 17 and 18, of course, because this character here, Future Trunks, Mirai Toronkusu, well, he told them that these are killing machines, Jinzo Ningen, who in the future, where he came from, his own timeline, alternate universe or multiverse, when we go into Dragon Ball Super, it is something that happened. They were released at some point, or really they killed Jiro and they broke free, and then in turn they killed all the Z fighters. And so in this timeline, the Z fighters try and be more proactive. They rush in, they try and kill the androids and stop them before they can unleash their evil upon the earth. But it's very clear early on that these androids are not the same as the ones in the Future Trunks and original timelines. Now, I've done videos talking about this on my channel in the past, whether or not the androids actually are more powerful than the ones from the future timelines, and also not just that, but why they're so different after all. I think a lot of it has to do with, just in short, Goku, as well as the fact that he died and they weren't able to kind of go on their normal mission. Jiro probably had a contingency in place in order to figure that out, and also the fact that they escaped by killing Jiro originally without the Z fighters showing up and trying to kill them, because obviously they wouldn't have even known that they were going to exist in the first place. And so what happens is, in the main timeline, the characters try to kill the androids right away. They are automatically just fighting a fight of self-defense. They kill their captor, their enslaver, their experimenter and torturer, Dr. Gero, And then they have to fight for their very lives. Sure, they're far more powerful than the Z Fighters. They're able to one-shot these characters, which Krillin even points out. But notice something here as well. When all of this is going down, what's Krillin doing? He's just watching. Krillin is the only one of the team, the Z Fighters, the Z Senshi, the Dragon Team, the Warriors, whatever you want to call them, who doesn't join in to try and kill the Z Fighters. You can argue this is because he was afraid, because he realized that he wouldn't stand a chance, but either way, this played a very important part in what came next. Because you see, Krillin, well, the androids, they just kind of tell him, oh, you can go and give the others the sensu beans. If they want to fight us again, go ahead. But Krillin doesn't just like run away from the androids. No, he actually runs up to them in order to talk to them and ask them what they really want, what they're doing, and what their main goal is. You see, Krillin still shows that he is very courageous, because most people would run away in fear of their life, crying and urinating their pants, or whatever Krillin is wearing as gi. But in this case, he doesn't do any of that. Instead, he tries to reason with these monsters, as people refer to them as. At no point is he saying, you're all monsters, you aren't human, you're evil beings, and you don't deserve to live, and we will kill you and crush you like the others are trying to do. No, he wants to reason with them. He even says, well, you see, the thing is that, you killed Jiro, so why do you want to go and kill Goku? This is my friend, and I don't want you to go against my nakama, as it is. A translator's note popping up on the screen. And so the thing is that either way, he tries to talk to them. He shows them compassion and doesn't try to immediately jump and attack them, regardless of whether it would work or not, whereas the other fighters, his team, in fact, do that. He even says, if I were to ask you to give this up, would you do it? And they say no. This is what leads to 18 coming up to him and kissing him, the iconic moment, the thumbnail of this video, and so on. The fact is that she takes an interest in Krillin, but none of the other characters. And so many people, they say things like, oh, Krillin, but he's short. He doesn't have a nose. He's not the most powerful fighter. So why would Krillin take an interest in him? I think it's because, like I just said, what Krillin did here that no one else did, really this entire storyline. He showed compassion. He tried to talk them down and reason with them and viewed them as people. Even Android 16, which to be fair, he didn't necessarily know that 16 wasn't a human like the others, or at least human-based, inspired by, in this case, if we go by Toriyama's interview, and Dragon Ball Superhero putting that into one of the continuities and canons. But either way, 18, I think, noticed this. She noticed his bravery, and she noticed the fact that he showed her compassion. And Krillin continues to do this throughout the story where no one else will. Let's go on with this and show you even more. See, let's go to, for instance, the fight against, the androids with Semi-Perfect Cell. So, Vegeta, he is going to kill Semi-Perfect Cell, but then he's like, you know what? I've been lured in and tempted by your belief and your idea of the fact that you will be able to give me a true challenge, and maybe you'll even be able to survive Vegeta's technique when it comes to us battling each other. And thus, as a result, I'm going to let you absorb this other android and become perfect, and it totally won't blow up in my face, and then I won't be able to use Vegeta's technique and then fail, because it always does, which I did a video about on my channel as well, and how it works. And yeah, the thing is that Krillin, he's given the exact means of killing 18. We see in this scene, so many people are like, oh, Krillin made a stupid mistake here. He gave in to his other head, his other brain, so as it was, his hormones, his pheromones, and everything else along those lines. But the fact of the matter is that Krillin did something again that none of these other characters are willing to do, and showed compassion. He dropped the means of killing Android 18 onto the ground in front of her, showing again that he is not like other men. And then he destroyed it when she was at his well, she was vulnerable to him, whereas she had never been to any of these other men up until this point in time, just this monster and then these super powerful aliens, right? And then he destroys it right in front of her and tells her to leave. She doesn't even understand why at first. She's like, why? You had a chance to destroy me. And Krillin, well, he's so shy and nervous, he's, when it comes to women, of course, we could all be like that, I'm sure, where he is, too embarrassed and caught up in his feelings to really tell her why. But the fact is that he lets her go. Of course, she gets absorbed, and then in the anime especially, he tries to fight against Cell because of this. But we can keep going on. You see, when Android 18 actually had the opportunity as well, I should bring this up now. I don't know when else I bring it up, so let's do it right now. Cell actually said, you can join inside of me, pause, with your brother so that we can in turn be, well, the perfect being together in line with Dr. Giro's wishes. Now, what does 18 say here? You're not number 18. He was pulling a Terminator and using the same voice. Not this one, but, the same voice as Android 17. No, this is how Android 16 would talk. And so at this point, we do see that she says, you're not 18, you're not 17. We hated Dr. Giro for converting us against our will. That's another thing. All of Android 18's exposure, especially to men at this point in her life, has been them trying to force her to be someone else other than who she really is and wants to be against her will. Dr. Giro is the exact opposite of Krillin in this sense, because Dr. Giro, he's the one who is always using that remote control to control her. That is his means of controlling her and her twin brother. Whereas with Krillin, as we saw before, well, when Krillin has the ability to do that, to destroy her and to stop the villain from becoming perfect, he neglects to. He tosses that machine down and destroys it. As a matter of fact, later on, as I'll show soon, he removes the other means of controlling her and threatening her and killing her with his other wish on the Dragon Balls. And so this is something that plays a major component, I think, into why, again, Krillin and 18 ended up together. So let's keep going as well as I bring this up. When Krillin is able to, when Android 18 is spit up on the ground by Cell after Gohan kicks it out of him, well, what happens? Krillin, again, is the only one who goes to her aid to pick her up, to try and bring her to safety. Vegeta even suggests, what are you going to do with that android? What do you think? And if she's alive, you should kill her. He does the same thing with Boo, actually, in the next arc, interestingly enough. And Krillin says, I can't. She wasn't that bad. Now, this is something else I wanted to bring up, a point in which Kami, the god of the earth, actually agrees with Krillin and disagrees with the actions of all these characters. And you can even kind of technically see him right here with Piccolo. When they try to rush in and kill all of them, he says, well, why would you rush in and kill all these androids just because the word of one other guy that you barely know? Because for all you know, things are different, and we've actually seen they are. And so Krillin is confirming that in a sense, and his compassion is part of what leads to much of this occurring. After Cell is killed and defeated, they wake up 18, Dende heals her, and then they mention how, oh, well, Krillin was there helping you the entire time and looking after you got spit up. Again, Krillin, the entire time in this arc that 18 is awake and not being experimented on or trying to be murdered, is the one who's always at her side, supporting her and showing her compassion and love. At this point, she flies away, saying that, oh, I won't fall for you that easily, and she runs away, but she comes back, especially when she sees the Dragon Balls. And then she sees probably the clincher in all of this. Krillin uses the Dragon Balls to remove the explosives inside of 17 and 18. They do that, and they ask him why. Well, can you imagine having a bomb in your body? And that's true. Again, there was a way in which the androids could die, be killed, some kind of contingency that would never allow them to truly live as comfortably as normal human beings beyond just their power and what had been done to them in the past. That terrible PTSD they probably would have, among many other things. But Krillin, again, shows compassion and allows her to be removed from that. And you could see right here her processing this, her seeing what was going on. Of course, at this point, he also is like, oh, don't you think they're a perfect match, 17 and 18? At this point, she gets embarrassed. She's showing her typical sundare, or however you pronounce that in Japanese, of like, oh, you baka, we're just twins. We're not going to end up together. And then, it's like, oh, well, don't think I'm going soft with you, fool. I'm not thanking you, baldy. And then she goes to leave, but then she turns around and, embarrassed a little bit, trying to look tough despite the fact that she is showing some feelings for Krillin. See you soon. See you later. The different translations here. Either way, she's leaving the door open for the two of them to see each other once again and for them to, well, get together. At this point, we even see Krillin shocked because Yamcha's like hyping him up. He's being a hype man here. He was doing it on the other side of the lookout before when she's like, she said, see you soon. You do have a chance with her. And then I love this shot of Piccolo / Kamikolo saying, I really don't understand. I don't understand the human pure bonding like Arnold said in Terminator 3. So she might be a monster, but she's a darn cute one, says Yamcha. Again, Krillin's the only one who really sees her as a human being and as a woman, which is the main thing among many other situations, which I've shown throughout the course of this video, that I think is what inevitably led them to get together, which we do see in the Buu saga, where, well, Krillin and her are married, and they even have a daughter, which Goku, funny enough, is like, wait, wow, that's quite a surprise, but how does a robot have kids? She's not a robot. She's a cyborg. She's still a human. So that, I think, is ultimately the biggest reason and rationale behind all of it. The fact that Krillin did the thing that no other man would do. Sure, he did show strength. He is one of the most powerful beings in the universe at this point in time. He is courageous. He fought the emperor of the universe. He has a lot of great stuff going for him, despite the fact that people can't get over the way he looks because, oh no, he doesn't have a nose. And also, he's short. It's like, who cares? There's more important things in life than that. And he showed those to 18 the entire time she was on screen with him especially. And thus, as a result, that is why I believe that Krillin and Android 18 really ended up together. In terms of how they really kind of connected, their dating life and everything, Toriyama doesn't usually show us that sort of thing on screen. The most we really got of that is like Gohan and Videl and their training and, going to school and everything like that. But he typically would skip over the more romantic aspects. Out of universe, he wanted to give Krillin, a hot wife, basically, is what he said, in order to kind of help him out for everything that he had been through throughout the course of the story. But it would be interesting and kind of funny to see how they actually end up together. Maybe 18 just showed up at Kame House one day on Master Roshi's island and just scared them. And Krillin was like, oh no, please don't kill me. And then she's like, no, I actually want to go on a date with you. And it's like, oh, and then, just imagine a slice of life episode where Krillin is like freaking out, but then he's being a gentleman and showing her the compassion and everything, pulling out her chair and, trying to not have her kill everyone in the restaurant they go to and whatever have you. I think it would be pretty great. So always wanted to talk about this topic, always wanted to give my 2 cents, which, I'm a YouTuber, so I don't even have those around here, and discuss in depth how it is that Android 18 and Krillin ended up together in the story. Happy Valentine's Day or Happy Singles Day, depending upon who you are. And I hope you have a great day.
Y'all, and you better subscribe.